Hello and welcome to our basic tech lesson today. Today in our lesson we want to look at excavation and timbering. Excavation and timbering. At the end of the lesson, the students should be able to 1. Define excavation and state the purpose for which it is needed in setting out. 2. Define timbering and state the use of timbering in setting out. Excavation. This is the digging up of earth to a required depth, width, and length. This can be done both manually and mechanically. Excavation is used in construction to create building foundations, reservoirs, and roads. We look at excavation in practice. This is excavation. We said excavation is the digging up of the earth to a required length, to a required depth, to a required width. And it can be done both mechanically and manually. Someone can use hoe or shovel or some other means of digging the ground to be able to perform this excavation, or it can be done mechanically through the aid of bulldozers or big mechanical equipment. And we say that this excavation is mainly, the purpose of doing it is mainly to make constructions like foundations of buildings. As you can see in this very image, you see foundations of buildings, you see reservoir that is being created, a body of water, something like a reservoir, and also creating a construction of roads. These are areas that excavation is mainly put into use. Some of the different processes used in excavation include trenching, digging, dredging, and site development. Each of these processes requires unique techniques, tools, and machinery to get the job done right. Dredging is the removal of materials from the bottom of lakes, rivers, harbors, and other water bodies. So we say some of the processes involved in excavation. Some of the processes are like the process of trenching. Look at the process of trenching, and the process of digging. Someone can use manually, I have said it before, with a shovel or a hoe or a digger to dig the ground, to be able to, this is a process of excavation. This also is a process of excavation, digging trenches, making trenches. This is also a process of excavation. This is what we call dredging. It's the removal of materials from the bottom of a body of waters like lakes, seas, rivers, etc. Just like you can see, this is a big river where dredging is being carried out. With the use of this excavation, this dredging is done very well. You can also see in site development, excavation is also used. You can see with the aid of something like a bulldozer or a mechanical equipment. There is a mechanical equipment. It helps to dig a ground. Maybe when foundation is being made in a place, a big foundation, there must be this mechanical equipment aids in the construction by digging the ground, digging the areas where the foundation will be made. This is what we call site development. Timbering. We come to timbering. This is the practice of using timber to support the vertical sides of a trench so as to avoid collapse. The function of timbering in setting out is to protect the sides of the excavation. So we have already talked about excavation as digging of a land, maybe digging of an earth to a particular size, dimension, to a particular length, depth, or width. And we say timbering is mostly done to protect the excavation that has been made, so that the excavation will not collapse. So it's done at the vertical size of a trench that is being dug. When a trench is dug, to avoid collapse of that trench, timbering is made. And the function of timbering is to protect the size of the excavation so that it will not collapse. So we look at timbering. This is what we call timbering. You see how timbers are used, something like pegs. These are timbers. They are used to support a part of a ground, a trench that is dug inside the ground. So with the aid of this, it will not be easy for this trench to cave in or to collapse inside. So since it has been constructed like this, it is with the aid of these timbers, these materials, that they will use, that the workers will be able to use to hold the work firmly on the ground, so that there will be no collapse. So we say that when the depth of excavation is large, horizontal struts from wall to wall are required at one or more places. You see that this is a surface of a ground. This is the surface of a ground. But this is a trench is dug inside the ground. This is a big trench that is dug. And by the size of the trench, there are timbers that are used to support. These things are timbers that are used to support the trench that has already been dug. And because the trench is a very large one, the excavation made is very large, there is something we call horizontal struts from wall to wall. These are horizontal struts from wall to wall. They are constructed at one or more places in order to hold the timbering that has already been done very firmly. So these struts are being constructed. They are constructed from wall to wall, so that the timbering that has already been done will be firm and the trenches will not collapse. This is where we come to the end of the lesson. We resolve the questions on the Google form.